you guys hear me?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the
Cooldown.
I mean, Wonga, you're allowed to say it too.
Cool
Yeah, let's hear it.
down.
There we go. Just in case you didn't know what that
Yeah.
sort of
This thing is
voiceover
freezing.
was.
It's damn internet. But you guys hear
Wonga
me?
decided he wanted to be part of the intro. Hey, Wonga.
So I
What's
didn't hear
he
that,
saying now?
Claudio. Just got in now.
Oh.
Properly.
No, okay, cool. No, I'm saying you wanted to be part of the intro. Silo, welcome back. I mean, it's
That's so good.
two consecutive games, no wins for Man United. Arsenal got that win against Wolves, still in contention for top four. A lot of interest around this top four. I think that's where the most entertainment is, guys?
Yeah, no, definitely. Top four in relegation battle are the most interesting parts of the league right now. I think if Liverpool were to beat City in the fixture, then I think the title race will get interesting. But for now, top four and the relegation battle is where it's at. But no one wants to take top four. No one wants to win. Everyone dropping points. You know, Spurs losing, United drawing 2 consecutive games, and obviously West Ham drawing as well to Leicester.
But I think what West Ham look like, they're the ones that won it the most, to be honest.
You reckon, man?
Well,
if I looked at the performance that they had against Leicester, I watched that game.
Look, gents, look who's joined us. It's been a long time.
How's it, Sam? Where have you been hiding, Sam? Where have you been hiding? Which shows have you been watching, man?
Sure, Sam.
Hey, which shows have you been watching, Sam? Come on,
No,
come
Sam,
on.
that's not okay. You're double timing
Come
us,
on,
sir.
man.
Hey? Come on. Be better.
And one of our new regulars, LG, thanks for joining as well. But as I said, man, I think initially I thought Spurs were the team that wanted the top four the most. But obviously three losses on the bounce hasn't helped them at all. They're obviously in a precarious position. You know, Harry Kane hasn't been scoring. I thought he had gotten his goal scoring boot somewhere. But yeah, man, even Wolves are now getting into the mix now, guys. So I think Wolves are definitely a dark horse for that top four position. They've had a good run of games. Their new managers, obviously, they've been defensively sound at home. They've conceded the second most goals. Second least goals at home after Man City. You know, so they've done very well. You know, so I think definitely Wolves is a team that wants the top four. What's happening now?
I don't know. You guys still there? Am I still there?
I spoke. I
hear you guys.
It was bad on my side. My bad, guys. Sorry, Silo, but that's not that we don't want to listen. I just think the network knows United are struggling. I think that's what's going on here.
Come on, man. I give a great in-depth analysis on the top four, and it's just crickets, man. Like, what's happening? You know what I mean?
Look, we got LG in the house. We got Louis Murray in the house. Obviously, Man City sitting pretty at the top there. Champions League, so exciting time for you, Murray. We're gonna talk about the Champions League later, but yes, Spurs. I mean, Spurs, Conte, we all know about his hair plugs. It's like the further this goes, the longer this relationship continues, that hair's going to start falling out. Am I wrong there?
It's leaving, boy. I don't even know how he survived. Yeah, he survived. He must be stressed. He must really be stressed.
It's Daniel leaving.
The most stressful.
No, but I mean, like, seriously, I don't know. Like, Spurs, I mean, especially the game they played against was Southampton. I mean, they were up. I mean, you saw everyone when they came back, everyone was excited. There was there was a belief that the game was theirs, and they dropped it quick. I mean, I don't know if it was I don't even think it was 10 minutes they dropped that lead. And now I never saw the game they played now against Wolves, but we Arsenal played against the Wolves, and I mean, we were playing. To be honest with you, it was. I was very surprised.
The Wolves were hungry. Yeah.
Yeah, and Wolves. I mean, I did say it last week. They make it really difficult for teams, and I mean, and unfortunately for Tottenham, and well done to Wolves. I mean, they ended up they conceded 2 at home against the team, and Wolves are not really a high-scoring team.
They're not. Yeah.
The same way they don't score. I mean, concede goals. They're not really that good scoring, and they managed to put 2 against Tottenham. After looking at Arsenal's progress, imagine Sam. But I mean, look, Arsenal against Wolves, I thought they were very good, especially going forward. I I even told last week. You heard me, guys. There were doubts. There were really doubts. Not in terms of the team that we have, but again, I just talk. I do worry about the amount of games we have left. That's my worry to get into the top 4. And remember, we have more games. Yes, we don't have other cup games or anything, but it is the league. But it's still a lot of games left, and it's going to require a lot of consistency. Something we haven't, had in a couple of games. I think it's good to start it now with the Wolves, and Wolves were a difficult team. That was a difficult win for us. I'll be honest about that, and I think it's good that we did get it. And I think we do play Wolves soon, if I'm not mistaken, about that one.
Yeah, your next game's against Brentford. You must be really bored.
Yeah.
We've got games. Settle's catching up on a Premier League game tonight. Liverpool playing tomorrow, Champions League. You've got a lot of time to sit and think about your navel and go, well, what's next for Arsenal? If you, technically speaking, if we're looking at all the rest of the sides, they are also. What's up, Warren? How's it going? But we are looking at it. Technically,
Warren doesn't get much love. Wow.
He gets a lot of love. Guys, give him some love. Come on.
That's the day. How's it, Warren? How's it going, Warren? Like, Claudia just said, like, hey, what's up, Warren? Hey, how's it, Warren? Hey, man, good to have you back. Good to have you back there, man. Like, but
hey, Silo, a rapper doesn't stop mid-flow, bro. I was trying to accommodate. I was accommodating material inside my flow. That's what I was trying to do there. You see that?
Okay, I see you.
Yeah. All I'm saying though, with regards to ending off that flow, is Arsenal are favourites. If you got to look at no European football, you got to look at the squads, the sort of squad that they have, and then you got to just consider. Do you have games in hand? Arguably, when you're considering Man United have more pressure than Arsenal to make the top 4, technically speaking. Yeah.
Yeah. We're in the Champions League this season. Obviously, it's more pressure to remain in the Champions League. I think that it's tougher to remain in the Champions League than to get into it in the Premier League.
Wonga, dang.
Wonga's frozen again. But yeah, Wonga's right. So next week there is a round of catch-up games again next week. So Wolves will be playing Arsenal again next week. Watford playing Palace, Burnley playing Spurs, and Liverpool playing Leeds. So those are the 4 catch-up games happening next week, Wednesday. So I think obviously, the league's going to take shape with all these games in hand being played. So at least we'll obviously, get to see them being played. And I don't know why is there an Arsenal. Oh, that's probably FA Cup weekend. Okay, there's a game that Arsenal was supposed to play Liverpool on the 26th of Feb, but that game has been moved out because Liverpool's still in the FA Cup. So yeah, so obviously certain games will be moved out because of FA Cup as well. But yeah, slowly but surely we'll be catching up on those fixtures. Burnley have a lot of games to catch up on. Obviously we all want Burnley to go down. But yes,
also, we talk about it's all that pre-match mooty, Cyril. All of our, I don't want to say it's all of us, but a lot of our pre-match mooty has gone towards Burnley, and it seemed to be working. So if we want to really get it next season, you got to be in our good books. Am I right there, Cyril?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. We all said, guys, we don't want to see that boring pub football from Burnley that they play. We need to get them out. And also, guys, Burnley's the weather that they experience in Burnley is a bit horrific, guys. Obviously there was a snowed out game that they should have played against Spurs, and obviously against Liverpool. Also, the weather wasn't great. So yeah, so guys, we don't want Burnley in the league. We want to take some of their good players. I think a Pope will stay in the league. Tarkowski will stay in the league. Who else? Lawson, McNeil. Maxwell Cornet. I think they've got some decent players that will definitely stay in the league, and others can definitely go down with Mr. Sean Dyche.
Man, the pub recruiter. You're not wrong there, Silo. Literally, when I was watching Liverpool this weekend, those were my thoughts exactly. I was going in this side, which players are good enough to stay in the Premier League and which ones are going straight to the Champions League. And obviously, you've mentioned Nick Pope, clear, obvious cut above the rest there. I wonder who would pick him up. I don't know. Wonga said they were looking for another goalkeeper earlier. He wished they signed one in Jan.
I think Spurs could do well to pick up a Pope. I think obviously Hugo Lloris is probably in his mid-30s right now. I think Spurs would do well to pick up a Nick Pope, definitely. I think you see even LG is saying that all their defensive players will stay in the Premier League. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe Ben Mee. I'm not really sure about him, but Tarkowski, the right back, who's playing left back for them now? I forgot, but obviously, as I said, McNeil, Obviously, is a good player that they have there. And then Maxwell Cornet, I think going forward is quite dangerous. And even this new striker that they signed, this Voghorst
No, don't include him. That man must go down. That guy must go down to the championship. That one.
But they just signed him now, man.
Yeah, he's pup. I watched him on the weekend. He's tired, man. That guy would do better playing wing as a rugby player. That's what he is, man. His feet are huge.
Okay,
he's got really big feet.
No, he's not.
So I'm gonna name the starting lineup that
they signed him and he's injured.
So the starting lineup that they had, okay, cool. They didn't have Lawson that is injured, so they had Roberts, Tarkowski, me, and Peters are across the back four, and then they had Brownhill and Westwood. I think Westwood is one of those tough players. Brownhill is also not too bad. Aaron Lennon can go into the championship, and Jay Rodriguez can stay in the Premier League. So I think they got some decent talent.
You're forgetting one. You're forgetting one. One I think is good enough to stay in. He's actually an old Man United product. That's what he is.
Who's this?
McNeil.
Oh, McNeil. Yeah, Dwight McNeil. That's what I said. I said McNeil. I said McNeil.
Yeah.
Okay, no, you're right. McNeil's good enough.
Oh yeah, the right back that I was thinking about is Lowton, not Lawson. Lowton. He's also decent. He's gotten me some good fantasy points. So I think, yeah. but Barnes must go down, guys. Barnes needs to go down, please, guys. Wow. Ooh, what a bad striker, guys.
Guys, Tarkowski, that guy was being linked with the move, I think it was to Everton for 30-40 million pounds. And I'm thinking, why in the world would you want to keep this guy? He's got a touch of a brick wall. He made a few passes off the park. Look, the weather was toxic on the weekend, but yeah. We'll talk about the Liverpool game, but Tarkowski, guys, good enough to stay in the Premier League. He's on par with Harry Maguire. That's all I'm saying, Wonga.
Guys, no, I think a team like a Leeds United could use a Tarkowski, man. You need someone defensively sound. Leeds concede a lot of goals from corners, guys. Leeds and Leicester are weak links on corner kicks, so I think Tarkowski is very good in the air, commands the box quite well. But yeah, let's see. I think the teams that go down will definitely, there'll be players that obviously stay in the Premier League. But also, what often happens that the teams that go down, they want high prices for their players because they obviously try to make a profit. So let's see what happens.
Not always. It depends on what's in the clause. I mean, Liverpool have picked up bargains with Klaas van Halden, Robertson, etc. So it's all. But I mean, Burnley, guys. I mean, Arsenal could go in there. Arsenal could pick up somewhere there. So then maybe that's exactly what Arsenal need. I don't know, someone with grit. Maybe that's exactly what an Arsenal need. Get someone like that, like a Sean Dyson bar fighter in there. No? No?
Nah.
Wonga?
No
what are your
ways.
thoughts there? If you had to pick one from Burnley, who would it be?
A McNeil. That's it.
Yeah,
I can't if you say take one.
McNeil's the player that's good, man. Or Maxwell Cornet.
I saw McNeil play once, and I was like, I mean, to be honest, I didn't know who he was, and I watched the game of Burnley, and yeah, definitely. I mean, he's 22 years old. There's no, he could even play in Arsenal, to be honest with you.
He can play in the top 6 team, guys. He can.
He can. 100%. Burnley is way too good for Burnley. I don't even know how he ended up playing in that team.
But guys,
imagine that's the title. You're too good for Burnley. We know you're there, but you're too good for Burnley.
You know, when you're talking about like players that are I want to say underappreciated. Jared Bowen's underappreciated, guys. I think he could do well at Liverpool, hey?
Yeah, but he's been linked with move to Liverpool. He has been
linked.
Yeah,
he could do well at Liverpool, hey? Like he's been hot. I think he scored 6 goals in the last 6 games.
It's been ridiculous.
Red hot form, guys. You know, I think he's a type of a Klopp Liverpool player. You know, you guys like to buy these guys who are a bit rough around the edges. Just needs to get in the right structure to obviously hit their top form. You know, type of thing. You know, when you
needs the Klopp polish.
Just need the Klopp polish. You know, just a little. You know, just a little, So I think Jared Bowen, guys, definitely that player. I've been impressed with him. The goal that he scored against Leicester, well taken goal, great run. He can hit the ball. He's got a sweet left foot. Also takes corners very well. So I think that's a player that could be utilized in a traditional top 6 team.
Yeah, also that's an interesting question. West Ham, if they keep doing this and they do make it to the sort of Champions League, I know a lot of noise from Declan Rice, and you've seen his progress as what he did previously compared to this season. But you've mentioned Jared Bowen. There are a couple of players there that would be looking elsewhere. And if they don't make Champions League football, yeah, maybe a Liverpool, maybe an Arsenal, maybe Man United do going for a Bowen. I mean, like you said, 6 goals, 7 assists in 11 games for a player like that, playing for a West Ham. Imagine the numbers if he was playing. I wouldn't say Man United because, I mean, Ronaldo shooting blanks there, so it's a bit tough at the moment. But I mean, if they were playing at a Man City or a Liverpool, as an example.
Yeah, no, true. I think certain players can definitely do well in certain systems. I think obviously going on the front foot, and obviously utilizing their strengths a bit more. Obviously, I think a West Ham team playing against the other teams around them, they're a bit more, can I say, reserved in terms of their tactics. But if those players play in a team that is playing attractive football, attacking, they could definitely do well. Rice definitely, I think he'll definitely go next season, but the price tag,
but big money, yeah.
that's a problem.
They're going to say 100 million.
Yeah, it's Jack
Chelsea
Grealish.
going to spend that.
Jack Grealish is the problem, guys. Jack Grealish, £100 million. It sets a precedent for the other players, man.
So Wonga, just to bring it back, to Arsenal now. You've got time for the Brentford game. I know we're going to be looking at the Man United game and speaking about Man United sort of result of the weekend, but Arsenal building up to the Brentford. I know every time you're negative or not overly optimistic, rather, your team tends to win, Wonga. So how are you feeling for this Brentford game? The inverse tends to happen when you're overconfident.
That's funny enough. That's what I was thinking about as well. I was like, okay, maybe I must come in here and praise Claudia's Liverpool and say they're going to do well next week and watch them fumble. Man United, I can't even do anything. They just do it on their own.
They don't need no Wonga jinx there. They're just jinxing themselves. The Rangnick jinx or the Old Trafford Glazer jinx it's a curse. It's a curse on the club.
Look, I think Arsenal. I think the players. What the nice thing, I think the players for sure. I mean, looking at the way they played against Wolves this weekend. I think if they carry that over, they would, in the back of their head, they will remember what happened the opening game of the season. And it's sort of time for like
the startup team started with you guys.
And now they've got a time, sort of like a time to redeem themselves from what happened. And I think Arteta definitely doesn't want that to happen again. Now the question you ask again is, do we have the character in the team to go out there and prove whatever's happening there in the training ground? Because there have been times where that hasn't sort of reflected. But to be honest with you, I was doubtful. It does bring just a little bit of hope, that look, the guys are out there, they're trying to win. But I'll probably say it like, what is this, Arsenal? You see, the thing about Man United, guys, is if they've got the players, if let's say this weekend or the next weekend something happens. I don't know if it'll ever, but if something happens and they start clicking, they can carry that form out throughout. I mean, till the end of the season, they've got the players and the legs to do that. Arsenal, if we get an injury or two, you're gonna start asking serious questions.
Things are a lot more stable at the moment than at Man United. I mean, there are already rumors
100%.
about Ronaldo and the boys not happy with Rangnick, saying this guy's confused. He doesn't know what he's saying, and there's all the conflicting messages coming out of the club.
Yeah, but it's gonna happen in Man United. They're going to look at every little thing now because people are trying to find out what's happening. There's millions and millions of people trying to figure out what the hell is happening with this team. I'm not. They must carry on as they are. Just carry on, guys. Do your thing, and hopefully, I mean, looking at the table, Arsenal
how would you describe that thing? You know, when you say do their thing, how would you describe that thing that they're doing?
Oh, I don't know. Only those guys will know. I mean, it's flopping. I think that's probably the best way to say it. Especially now, the two recent games, 100% flopping. It's like a SA cricket team in a final or in a World Cup. It's there and they don't know how to take it. And I think with Man United, it's going to be worse.
They don't know how to protect a one goal lead, or they don't even know how to get the second goal. I think the first half of performances has been some of our best performances that we've seen this season. We control the games. Obviously, we get some chances, but yes, we get chances. We score a goal, we just need to score that second goal. And I think if we score that second goal, it will definitely help the mentality going into the second half. Because when we score that goal, you just know that first 10, 15 minutes, these guys are susceptible to conceding.
Yes.
We obviously saw it against Burnley and we saw it against Southampton, where these guys, our defense was nowhere to be seen. Obviously, in the Burnley game, Maguire and McTominay were at fault. And I think with this game, man, it's just sad to see. But what can we do, man? I think obviously,
but hang on,
weakness. If you're playing a half decent team, that they can certainly exploit certain things. But the thing is, one thing I like is that at least we're not conceding as many chances as we were under Solskjaer. So I think we just need to change. It's a small change that just needs to be, obviously fixed. Whereas if we were conceding still a lot of chances and De Gea was man of the match every game still, then we'll be
those stats, those stats. De Gea is still pulling out the most saves there.
But the last 2 games
he's still got the highest stats, I think. No, I'm saying overall in the season.
Yeah, this season. Yeah, obviously this season. Yeah, but the last 2 games, I think obviously, we haven't been exposing him that much. It's just that we are letting in that one chance for the other team, and when we are letting in that one chance, guys, it's obviously the other team is taking their chance because he's still needs to take their chance.
Just move away from. You can go in depth in terms of speaking about the game and how the game plays out, and I know that's normally what we should be doing on the cool down. Also, what's up, Nevada? Is that better? So is that part of going in the flow and giving some energy?
Yeah, give some energy,
okay,
bro.
All right. Welcome, Nevada. But yeah, I'm saying just going back to the Man United fact. When we're looking at it, you pinpoint 1 or 2 issues. I mean, new manager, same players. Over the last past years, one of the greatest ever players in the team. As a fan watching this, what are your thoughts? What's your approach to get this right?
It's. I think first and foremost, Harry Maguire needs to be dropped. I think there's a
dropped or sold. Do you think they must get rid of him in the summer?
Bro, who's gonna take him? Where are we gonna get some money back? Where are we gonna get 30 million pounds from? You know what I mean?
Because
Look at this comment, guys. Wong, is this a possibility here?
No, not
one with the Kiwi on it. You know that Kiwi?
No, but not with Klopp's highlight. Klopp plays a highlight. He won't be able to. He wouldn't be able to.
100% correct.
I think Pep would be able to mask his weaknesses, but not Klopp. Klopp plays too much of a highlight. Pep would definitely be able to.
Klopp puts his centre halves in danger there.
Exactly, he puts his centre halves in danger with the highline. So I don't think he would be able to. Listen, Maguire can't turn. That's the problem. Is Maguire's strength is hitting the ball. That's where his strength is, right? It's hitting the ball. He's even lost his strength. He's even lost his strength to pass out from the back a bit there. So I don't know. But
the only thing Harry Maguire's blocking is people on Twitter. That's the only thing he's blocking at the moment.
But look, I mean, I'm looking at a Man United. I mean, like Man United, like the times they were the dominant team. I mean, look, they had sort of, you'd say. I mean, the last season Sir Alex Ferguson one was probably the worst team you guys had in a while in terms of players, but you guys still won it. And then I'm looking at the Man United team now. That's definitely sort of the stars you'd want in a Man United team. But now the defense. I mean, I know guys are blaming coaches. I mean, they always blame the coach. The coach leaves. And like what's his name? Solskjaer has now fallen victim to that as well. But Man United, for me, I think when I look at them, I think their problem is surely somewhere there in that defense. They're conceding way too many goals and goals that they shouldn't concede. That's is what I'm trying to understand. Every game we watch, the guys would be like, especially the game that you lose, you should have won. They're looking at the defense and they're saying, look, these two guys aren't communicating. Harry Maguire is sometimes in the center of it. Some miscommunication. I mean, if you're looking at like teams like Manchester City on top, they've conceded 14. Liverpool 19, Chelsea 18, Wolves 17 goals they've conceded. So you can say like the better teams in the league have conceded less than 20. Now, if you're going over 30 goals, Man United is in that position, and they're not. That's the Man United. That's not a Man United.
Villa bracket. They're also on 36 goals. That's where you at, Silo, in the Villa bracket, Vods.
No, but I think the most important thing is you guys need to also look at the fact that since Ranić has come in, we've conceded far less goals. Obviously, guys, we conceded 5 against Liverpool. We conceded 4 against Watford. This is under Solskjaer, guys. So you can just
Okay.
imagine those goals, they add up, right? But obviously,
Mm.
since Ranić has come in, I think the most we've considered was 2 goals against Villa. Whereas we won some games 1-0. We drew some games as well. So we're not conceding as many goals, and also we're not giving away as many chances. And I think it has turned, but then the problem is that we're not being able to defend our leads. So we ending up drawing 1-1. Obviously our last 3 games, including the FA Cup game, has been 1-1 draws, which has not been good. And we scored first in all those games, and we created so many chances as well. I think obviously the Middlesbrough one was even more in terms of chances that we created, and we're just not taking advantage. So I think that it's a mental block as well. I think the psychology of the players needs to obviously be right. I think they need to work on that. I think also, obviously there's been a lot said about certain leaks coming out of the dressing room. I think also, guys, these players need to, be professional and do the job that they're required to do, and
I
not,
agree.
be stuck up. I think obviously some of these guys are paid too much money. And obviously I think Ranić's hands are kind of tight as well, because you can only deal with what you have, right? You can't say I'm ripping this team apart and bringing in players when you can't do that. He tried to bring in a defensive mid in the January transfer window and wasn't allowed to. So already you just have to deal with what you have. Play the team to the best of their ability. Certain players wanted to leave and get more game time. He allowed them to leave because he felt that those guys weren't going to be giving their energy towards building a stronger team, and he's allowed them to go. Donny and Martial, both of them actually had good games for their respective loanee clubs on the weekend. So obviously they allowed, so now let's work together and let's try obviously get into the top 4 and possibly obviously get into like a quarterfinal, semi-final of the Champions League. That is what we should be aiming for, because there's nothing else to aim for this season. We should just top 4, make sure that maybe we get into a Champions League and get to a semi-final. Then I think we can say, okay, cool. This season has been a success if we look at where we were with Solskjaer after losing to Watford.
Okay, hypothetical. Sam saying Man United may not be in the top 4. Now, question with regards to this, Man United not being in the top 4. How much do you think that will impact them going forward, recruiting the next manager, whoever that next manager may be? You don't want it to be Poch, you want it to be Ten Hag. You've already touched on the fact that Rangnick not necessarily supported by the board, even though he's saying buy this player. They don't want to go buy that player. So again, the board always making the decisions in the football area. We know how detrimental this is, but what will the consequence be? And Wonga, you can weigh in here too. If they do not get this top 4, how will it affect them recruiting players? A player like Pogba, does he stay? Does he go? He's already contemplating whether or not he stays or goes. So how big will it impact?
Pogba must go, man. Pogba must go. I think, in all honesty, yeah, man. It's just going forward. I think it will be better for him in his career to go to a different environment. I think our environment is not conducive to winning a title in the next 3 years, and I think obviously Pogba wants to definitely win some more titles. Obviously, he won quite a lot of titles in Italy. He's won the World Cup, but I think what he also wants definitely right now is he wants to win the Champions League. He's won the Europa League. He's got a silver medal in the Champions League with Juventus, when they lost to they lost to Madrid. So obviously he's gotten to that point where he probably wants to just make sure that his last move is a successful one in terms of trying to win as many trophies as possible. And I don't think Man United is the place to remain to win more silverware, because there's a lot of problems. Let's see what the new CEO does. He's obviously just started on the 1st of February, Richard Arnold. So let's see. We'll give him a chance, give him until the summer and see what he does in terms of the changes in the setup and so on and so forth. Obviously, the coach that they bring in will be very key. But if we don't make top 4, guys, you can count Pogba gone, Ronaldo surely gone as well. I think obviously those 2 players want to play in the Champions League. I think Ronaldo, even the great player that he is, I think he's been too much. He's been more of a headache than a solution. In some instances, and it doesn't help that the person that we alternate him with in Edison Cavani is trying to preserve his body so that he can play in the World Cup in Qatar.
I think also for me, Claudia, I think in terms of Pogba, like Selo said, I think, yeah, if he's looking at it properly, I mean, if you're looking at a team, if his aim is to win a Champions League, then for sure, if he's wise about it, if nothing changes with Man United, never mind the position, but just what's happening inside the club from now until the end of the season. There's no telling what's gonna literally happen, and I mean that time obviously you will only have that August window period to to make a decision, and then once you're in the season, you can't turn back now until January. But for me, the teams that he's going to now look at if things don't change, probably like PSG, there's a huge chance that you're going to win a 95% chance you're going to win the league there. You can also
cups,
all domestic cups, and then there's also a huge chance that you can. I mean, if you're playing if Messi's still there, you're going to be playing next to Messi. If things go right there's a huge chance that you're also going to make it into a Champions, close to a final. You're going to definitely get past the last 16, the way it is. But Man United, and also then another team to mention, probably a Man City or a Liverpool. Those are the teams you're looking at if you're trying to get into a final of a Champions League. All the other teams, even
did you include Real Madrid?
Real Madrid at the moment.
Real Madrid made the semi-finals last year. I think you need to still respect the most.
They'll always be there and thereabouts.
Yeah, so I think
it's like a Germany going to the World Cup with
it's like a Germany, guys. I think
Okay.
that's something we must not underestimate in terms of Real Madrid, guys. They've got one of the best strikers in the world, and obviously I think they're obviously trying to build a project, and because they're trying to build a project, they're adding more people. They're going to be adding Mbappe next season. You know what I mean? They're going to be.
Yes.
They're going to be. They might add a Erling Haaland. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
because they've already adding Mbappe. If imagine you're adding a Pogba to the midfield, cool. Modric is at the end of his career, but still, Modric is still giving a decent output in terms of at a 36-year-old, And you've got Toni Kroos, you've got Casemiro, you got Vinicius, who's probably been the most improved player in Europe. The numbers that he's producing in terms of goals and assists is ridiculous from where he was.
Yeah.
He's realizing that potential that they were saying he's the next Neymar. I think Real Madrid
defense is looking good.
Is on an upward trajectory. Whereas obviously like a Barcelona is a huge rebuild, a huge rebuild. They don't even have money to buy certain players. They probably don't have money to afford a Pogba. So I think a Real Madrid, and as you said, Liverpool, Man City, and a PSG and a Bayern. Obviously, I think those are the five
teams and a Bayern
that will obviously be continuously being in the conversation for the last four.
So if you look, and correctly so, yes, you're correct in that one. And yeah, so if you're looking at, if you're not thinking you're Pogba now, you going towards your 30s now, and you need these trophies. Staying at a Man United, it doesn't the way you've even put the Madrid. The way you put the Madrid story in front of me, imagine how those guys would put it to him as well. The guys who are actually know what's actually happening. We just hear in the news, and the other guys who know what's happening. Oh, it sounds like a deal that you wouldn't want to miss. So I find it very difficult for me. I'm just saying. I think if Pogba stays, it'll be very, very sentimental more than logic.
And what sentiment does he really have? He went back for all the sentiment, and it hasn't really played out the way that was expected. So I think that the sentiment part's completely out of the equation, in my opinion. I don't know. Sello's also seemingly saying it's time for him to move on. Gentlemen,
Makes
Newcastle versus Aston Villa. 3 from 3 victories. Kieran Trippier, 2 free kicks.
Metatarsal gone.
Metatarsal out.
Yeah, he's out now.
Nick's very happy, but how happy is he really on the inside?
No, he's
backflips. Guys,
he's very happy.
Guys, you know how difficult it is for a team to win 1-0, guys. 1-0 is one of the most difficult score lines, especially when you score that goal in the first half. I think that in itself, it shows that the mentality is right for Newcastle in terms of scoring that goal, defending their lead, and making sure that they close out the game quite well. Obviously, yes, I think there was quite a dubious disallowed goal for Ollie Watkins, whether it was offside or not offside. But I think they did very well, just obviously to keep that 1-0 lead. And I think going forward, I think Newcastle definitely has that momentum. Obviously their next games will be obviously trickier assignments. You know, they've had a good, decent run of games where they're playing teams that are just above them in the league table. They're playing West Ham on the weekend, and I feel that they can definitely go into that game thinking that they'll win that game. You know, I think
100%.
that the confidence is there for Newcastle, and West Ham is obviously, you know, also has a lot of pressure on itself to obviously do well. So I think Newcastle can definitely continue this trend, and then they got the startup team afterwards. So obviously the next two games they could get another 6 points, guys. You know, and
So,
the energy, guys, the energy at St. James's, guys. Wow,
mad.
wow,
Mad.
wow.
You must feel it. I'm
Wow.
sure you literally feel it.
Wow.
You could if you could plug like your ears and hear nothing, you'd feel something there. 100%. There's no way. It's just
All the
ridiculous.
vibrations from the seats. Also, that's two next points saying they're a big club, right? They are a big club. And it's about time that you actually, it's funny that they are in the relegation sort of zone, but they're supporting this club like they're pushing for the Premier League title. And that's the shift with Steve Bruce leaving, Mike Ashley leaving, and all of a sudden getting this newfound joy and this newfound money in the bank. Also, Trippier getting injured, guys. If we look at his injury, him just being in the change room, I think that's still going to be enough for them to get it across the line, no?
Yeah, I think if you're looking at the way they're playing, I think that's key. Yes, I mean Trippier scoring the goal was absolutely vital. But now other guys are going to have to, pick up, because obviously he's not going to be there with those free kicks of his. But I think the way they, I mean, Nick will know the squad better than me. But the way they're playing, I'm pretty sure they could. Yes, they're not going to get a Trippier out of the replacements, but I think definitely they can. I mean, they still got a Saint Maximum up there. You got I don't know if Wilson is still fit or not, but they can definitely cause problems for the next team. I mean, to put it, I mean, Nick last time, was it 2 weeks ago, Nick was saying that, you know, they need to win their next run of games. You know, they need to sort of develop some sort of form, and he was looking at the next fixtures, and I think, if I'm correct, he couldn't pick a team where he was going to get points, and that's what stressed him out. But looking at the last 3 games, I'm pretty sure now when he takes out that list, I'm even looking at it here. It's pretty, like, you're looking at a West Ham. Selo says it's correct. Selo says definitely. I mean, even a point. Never mind when they can definitely get a point off there. And looking at like Brentford, horrible form. Brighton, they can definitely get something off of Brighton. Chelsea, there's the only question you're going to be asking, you know. But then the rest, you can see. Leicester City, Newcastle can definitely, but that's weeks from now. But if Newcastle played Leicester City this coming week, I think Leicester knees would be shaking. Knees would be shaking heavy.
Well, I think that's what Gary Neville says. Gary Neville's saying it feels like. Well, what did he say? He said it feels like they are back. St. James is back, and he says in the past when you used to go there, you would feel. You were talking about feeling the vibration and saying you feel the vibration. Also, prior to this, Steven Gerrard had never lost a game at St. James's Park as a player. He's gone there as a manager and he's lost, but it also shows you that the change, the shift in sort of attitude, the shift in belief, the shift in momentum, and how that's playing a role. So that's pretty interesting. So Nick's overall happy. I think for Goal Lounge, we're not too sad because we don't want to relegate Nick, did we? We
didn't. No, guys. Imagine, guys. That would have been awkward, guys. Imagine now one of our squad members is in the championship, guys. Sky Bet Championship. Now we have to watch Sky Bet Championship and include the result and say, you know, you guys did poorly against Preston North End. You know what I mean? You know.
Also, I know we're talking about Newcastle, but the questions here. Sam's still saying, Silo, what are your thoughts on Luke Shaw? And Pumlani saying Maguire is the problem. Silo, I mean, guys, Sam's asking the question. Luke Shaw.
Yeah, guys,
mixed bag. Listen. Mixed bag.
No, I think this season is.
Check his face. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. All these guys, can I personally, like, I'm not having a go at the player. He might be a good player, but all the players that have gone through this, I think it's also time for United. I think, and the only reason I say this is because I've seen Liverpool do what Liverpool did in terms of what they experienced. And Man United's saving grace is the money that they have. If they get the right people in place, they could turn it around. But it's not happening. And it's financially, it's starting to impact them. And where all these sort of talks are happening, I think it's time just to cut your losses and start again, personally speaking. But that's just me. If Selo wants to keep him, he can keep him. But overall, Luke Shaw.
I don't know why we're still talking about Man United, guys. There's other teams to still talk about. We still have to talk about Vard's team. Hey, guys, so obviously Aston Villa drawing 3-3 and then losing 1-0. I think, are they going backwards? What's happening? Claudio, you obviously were waxing lyrical, going crazy, getting a hard on about Gerrard being back at Villa. What's happening? I'm sure that's
Hold
calm
on,
down.
it's got a statement to throw out this. Let's take it easy. I mean, shut. Gents, I mean,
Hey,
it's still welcome to the Premier League. It's not bad. It's like what 1 in 4 that he hasn't. He's lost one game in 4. Or was it 2 in 5? I'm not sure.
No, I'm just,
Yeah, for me, I think-
I'm just saying it's very important that he needs to remember this is the Premier League. You know, I mean, obviously, yeah, he's lost two out of the last 5 games. One of them in.
Well, he did jump in at a Villa, whereas the Lampard started with the Chelsea. You know, so I don't think it's the worst. I think also
No,
St.
I'm not-
James.
obviously,
I think Newcastle's always going to be a tricky
it's-
sort of
it's-
fixture for them.
I no. Obviously, we can't compare him to Lampard, guys. Lampard was obviously in over his head.
And
I
he
think
spent a lot of money.
yeah, but also, did he spend the money or did the club spend the money for him? So
Yeah,
that's another
that's
question,
the-
you know.
yes.
Not much control at Chelsea, but I think yes, Gerrard has also spent some money now in this January transfer window. I think he's obviously you also understand the lay of the land in terms of the Premier League. You know what I mean? There is no easy points in the Premier League. There's no guaranteed
Yeah.
3 points. You know, obviously he comes from a club where Rangers unbeaten the whole season. So I think obviously he will also adjust and learn as he goes as well. You know what I mean? I think obviously any manager who comes to the Premier League, especially a young-ish manager comes to the Premier League, you'll learn along the way. You know what I mean? And I think you'll obviously be good for it for next season. Where obviously I think next season, obviously I think they'll push on, and he would have also gotten the right players that he wants to be in the side,
Yeah.
and also his
And I think that's
philosophy
key.
would have been obviously gone through the whole squad.
I think that's key. Whenever a new manager coming to a squad, especially if you're coming in midway of the season, it's probably even more important or more to the point of the fact that you've inherited a bunch of players. So the result that you're going to get, you've got 2 ways of going about it. And I always say this. You've got the approach where you can say, okay, I'm going to play for the result, set them up in a way that I know they can compete. Percentage football, let's see what we can do, depending on how significant the result is and where the team's based. Obviously, relegation based, you're not going to come in there and try things. I think Gerrard's got a bit of a luxury right now where he's got players that they want to play expansive football. He's got an idea that he wants to play somewhat inherited from a Liverpool in the school of Klopp, so to speak, when he was there, the 4-3-3 sort of approach. And he can actually put these players to the test, and the results that he gets, he can start really, it's the litmus test. You know, where's it failing? Where's it failing? And then he can go back to the board and say, look, I really need this. I mean, getting rid of Target, going on loan to Newcastle is case in point, going, nah, already don't want this guy. I don't want this guy. So these results aren't the worst thing for him. I think the most important thing is that he's not losing. Obviously, Yep.
I was going to say, I must ask, I don't know if Vards is still there, but we must ask him from a Aston Villa point of view. Does he like what he see? You know, if you can hear us, the Vards, let us know if you like what you see.
Hey, but also I think we need to ask questions about Tyrone Mings. I think Tyrone Mings is overrated, guys.
Of course, he's English. He's over. Of course, he's overrated.
He's overrated, guys. Just the other guys. He's overrated.
He's a weakness in that Villa side. Him
He
and
is,
Harry
guys.
Maguire must go play somewhere together.
What do you think about that, Vards?
Ezri Konsa's more reliable than him. Just obviously, Ezri Konsa needs to work on his discipline. He got a red card in the game against Leeds. But yeah, man, I think wow, Tyrone Mings, guys, no. And he's the captain of the team. So yeah, some teams need to get new captains, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and that's a difficult one, when you put someone captain. Well, Arsenal, it's easy for Arsenal because they're not really too sure who's the captain there. But
you guys just freestyle everything that you guys do.
I think what Arteta's trying to be really cautious with what he does. He also doesn't want to give someone too much power because then obviously he's similar to Brendan Rodgers when he took over at Liverpool, got rid of all the older guys so he could try and get his stamp, get his authority within the squad, and I think that's what he's trying to do. Good luck anyway. I still think if he fails, you got a good stand in there with Patrick Vieira. It seems I like the look of him. I've spoken about him in the past. Guys, the Burnley Liverpool game. I think this was the first game. I mean, the game was average. They won 1-0. Settle spoke about how tough it is to get a 1-0 result. The weather at Burnley was awful. And the goal that they scored was extremely scrappy. It was very Burnley-esque. So that's very delightful. They went to the pub, they put in a punch, and they got the knockout they needed. So that was delightful from that side. But what I really liked was everyone always speaks about Liverpool's squad depth. And we're always beginning of the season, yeah, but can they go all the way? Do they have enough players? On bench on the weekend, we had Thiago, we had Luis Diaz, we had Elliott coming back, we had Chamberlain there, we had Konate there, we had Mino. Suddenly, Liverpool have depth. And not just average players.
Jota was on the bench as well.
Jota was on the bench. Yeah, exactly. And that for me was like, that was the light bulb moment where I was like, wow, that's the first time I can say that he's got options to bring off the bench. And I was like, hey, we need a change. Who's he going to bring on? What's he going to do? And that was delightful. That wasn't just like, oh, he has to bring this guy on. We play one predicted way. And so I think that's a nice positive. Obviously, as far as the league goes, we all know it's City's to lose. So unless they collapse significantly.
What's happening with the second leg? Did Arsenal and Liverpool play the second leg in the League Cup yet?
Yeah, bro, we're in the final. Oh, you're sleeping. Selo.
Oh yes,
Jota
scored the goal. Yes, so obviously I think yes, that's the cup that you guys should be winning, and I think so. Yeah, so no, what I wanted to bring it back to is the fact that you guys are still in 4 competitions. You know what I mean? It's still in 4 competitions. Obviously, that squad depth that you talk about that we obviously were questioning last season and other seasons, it helps. You know what I mean? Obviously, I think you can rotate the whole front 3. You can lose Luis Diaz with Chamberlain and a Jota. Obviously, as opposed to the starting 3. You know, Minamino's also there. You know, Elliott also can fill in the front 3 positions. So yeah, it definitely does help that you guys have the options. You know, even the old man Keita's back now as well. So yeah,
it's not just back. It's like coming back to Africa and being like the main man for his team. All of a sudden, he's come straight back, and Klopp is starting him, and still hasn't finished 90 minutes. I think that's always going to be impossible for the old man.
He's an old man, but you can't. Over age players can't do it. Can't do that.
Tough, man. Premier League, and he got to the 88th minute. I think that's the longest I've seen him play without getting taken off. And also, he's a good player to have because he doesn't mind coming off, which is quite interesting. Because the old man goes, "Hey, I've got him my run out. Now I can relax, get my legs massaged, put them up." Get the walking stick out. No. So it's not bad. But I think on the weekend he was great. And Thiago, I give Thiago a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But him coming off the bench.
How many thumbs up did he have this time?
Oh man, but look, he was great. He was fantastic. Him coming off the bench, I think it was one of his better performances, especially of the season. I was so impressed. I was like, this is good. The squad depth's there, the competition's there. The guy really has to impress now. He can't just, because my issue with him is the sloppiness of his pass from time. I know he can hit any type of pass, but he tends to give the ball away more than what he should. And again, it's not Bundesliga where you can afford to do that. This is you get punished in the Premier League. So, but he came on, and he did well. I was quite impressed.
He must just look where he's passing. He'll be fine.
Yeah,
if he looks where he's passing, he'll be fine.
So Claudia, what about Konate, man? I think obviously he's a new signing. I think obviously centre back is a tough position to be getting consistent minutes under your belt. You know, obviously he's been utilized in certain games. But obviously Matip won't play the whole season, but Matip has had a good injury record this season. He's been obviously available more often than not. So what do you think in terms of his prospects going forward? Do you think he will be naturally moving into the Matip position and taking over, or do you think Matip is still obviously fighting for his role?
Well, Matip's I think if you're a player playing for Liverpool at the moment under Klopp, you're going to do whatever it takes to stay at the club as long as you can, regardless of whether or not the club want to move you out like they did with Gini. So the club obviously look at their ages and they say it's time to move on, but no doubt that Konate is a replacement for Matip. What's nice is every time he stepped in, he's been a like-for-like replacement, and it hasn't affected the defense. The defense has been as solid. Obviously, he has been caught out with his naivety at times because he's a player very heavily reliant on his physique. He's an absolute monster. He's quick off the bat. He makes up for misreading a ball or two and gets back there with the pace. So that's something he'll learn. But next to Van Dijk at the moment, looking very good. And like we speak about Van Dijk being a big physical imposing figure, but he definitely plays the sweeper role. He cleans up. He doesn't like getting stuck in. He hates being dirty. He's not the dirty defender. He's the Rio Ferdinand to the other guys being the Vidic. And also something that needs to be added with the Matip, something you're not going to get when a Konate plays, is the long marauding runs that Matip is doing time in, time out. It's not become like a once-off. He loves picking the ball up because the risky sort of approach a Liverpool player. I know if Nick was here saying, but you're going to get punished, and he's not wrong, because Burnley got in a couple of times on the weekend, but the fortunate thing was Burnley's strikers were slow, so we could even argue they even gambled a little bit more. But what that does is it allows a player like a Matip to carry the ball, and he's actually very good at working the space up front. And as soon as they give him in water polo, I don't know if you guys ever play water polo, but they always say whenever you're in the pool, if there's open water, you tread it. And it's the same thing within football. If there's space, you utilize it, because then you're either going to drag in the defender or you're going to have to play the ball in behind. And that's what Matip does brilliantly. And then they tend, you know what they do is they just drop off every time. They drop off. And then he lands up in the big box, and then he's got options. And then that's where he overcomplicates things, because he doesn't know he can't believe he's gotten that far. But yeah, Matip's definitely got a future there. I mean, he's come out saying James Milner, his contract ends at the end of the season, and they still want to try and renew that contract. So Klopp's going to hang on to whatever he can. He's going to try, and he's sitting in a position now where arguably he's got his strongest ever squad. So he might add one or two in the summer. We're looking at your Firmino possibly leaving, I'd say, or Mane, because they are in their 30s, and we know the club doesn't like to keep these players. But Klopp's going to do whatever he can to keep everyone there. I can tell you that much.
Okay, no, it's good. I think continuity is very important in the squad. I think obviously that that winning experience of the Champions League and the Premier League is always needed just to carry it on, so that you can also, when you try and blend in the new generation, you need to blend that together. Obviously, yes, that whole 30 years and above thing, but also, guys, Sadio Mane has still got the energy and the legs to give to the team, and Salah is still gonna have that energy.
But I wanted to ask that question, the 30-year-old thing. So if we're looking at your Salah, and we're looking at your Ronaldo, Salah's conditioned himself, or Messi or whatever. He's clearly conditioning himself to prolong his career in that fashion, right?
100%.
So why, should clubs continue looking at it going the players 30s over the hill? Like, if we look at the Moneyball approach, or are things changing within football where if a player is really that good, you should be hanging on to him? I know that this whole old argument is it's going to cost more to replace a Salah now than it is to just give him what he wants. But hypothetically speaking, should we not looking at footballers and going, should the age be 30, or should the cutoff mark be like a 33?
I think you should look at each player. Each player is different, guys. Each player looks after their body differently. Look at a Salah. Salah, guys, top condition. Your Messi's top condition, obviously. Your Ronaldo's top condition as well. So I think, as you said, 33, I think, is the age you can definitely adjust it to. 30, guys. What's 30 years old right now in football, guys? A lot of these teams have players who are 34 who are doing well, guys. Luka Modric is in tip-top condition, guys. That guy is still putting out assists in the league, and he's 36 years old, guys. Benzema's 34. Benzema's 34, leading goal scorer in La Liga. Dzeko is doing well for Inter Milan. So these guys are prolonging their careers, and I think obviously you can definitely add on. I think a Salah, guys, you have to give the guy whatever he wants, guys.
I think Silo is correct in that. I think with the club, I couldn't, maybe obviously, I will not understand it because I'm not there. But I think now if you're looking at releasing someone who's good in your team, maybe they're also looking at how much can you get off the guy from selling him versus how much he's gonna give to you, or do you look at now invest? Do you look at and I mean, even if you're looking at the future players, I mean, like Silo said, I mean, if you've got guys that have won the league there before, you'd have someone maybe behind Salah, him sort of, nurturing a guy, coming up into the ranks, and then, release him or let go of him, because now they've kept James Milner, they've kept James Milner, so
why does he get a free pass?
But James Milner's he's not a free fall. James Milner's a squad player, and this also where it's different. Salah is not going to be saying, "Hey, you can use me 16 games a season." It's very different.
Yeah, but you see, nonetheless, he's over the age. That's what I'm trying to say. And the thing is, Salah's like Salah. You say, Salah's not going to be saying he wants to be the squad player, but the thing is, Salah, he's going to be scoring the goals, that's for sure. I don't think a manager in their right mind would not want to be playing him, especially in the next, I think, even 2 years, looking at the way he's been taking care of himself, looking at the way every time he's playing, it looks like there's a goal threat, it's a goal problem. And if you put good players around him, you could definitely get off that. So, yeah, maybe in Liverpool, there's probably something that there's something they're not telling us, that we're not aware of, obviously, why they would not want to give this guy what he wants. But I would agree with Silo and say just give it to him. Unless maybe they're trying to look for something that's more long-term, because Salah would be more short-term than something new, to be honest with you.
But guys, you need to balance your squad out, guys. I think obviously them buying Luis Diaz, and a Jota last season, guys. Those guys are what, under 25, you know what I mean? And you get a Mane and a Salah who are 30. Firmino is also similar age, right? So obviously,
31.
then what you do is that you get Firmino out, right? And then maybe you get Firmino out, you get Origi out, and you bring in a new number 9, and then you continue with Salah and Mane and those other 2 guys, you know what I mean? Then you're sorted. Or you can even put Jota in the middle, going forward, being the number 9, because he's hits the ball quite well. Just needs to probably work on his hold up play. But I think you can mix and match in terms of the ages, you know, and you can find the optimal squad. You know, because in your midfield as well, maybe you bring in a 25 and under center midfielder to obviously blend with the Thiagos and your Hendersons and your Fabinhos.
Yep, you're not
Yeah,
wrong.
and I think but even for Salah as well, I think you ask yourself as well, where would you go, you know, and get the same sort of game time that he's getting now to Liverpool? Maybe
I was gonna get the same game time wherever he goes, surely. Like wherever he goes is a start and in and out. Like that's
so if he goes to PSG, there's no way that's happening.
Yes, or you telling me
PSG,
he's
they're
not
gonna
better than a Neymar right now?
He will.
No, but
at PSG,
I'm saying now with the current
but at
squad,
PSG
they're going to be
but at
definitely rotating him.
No, you can rotate a bit, but at PSG you just replace Mbappe's minutes. That's what you're just basically doing. You're just replacing.
Oh yeah, if he
Mbappe.
goes, yes, if he leaves,
Yeah,
okay, yeah,
Mbappe leaves, you replace Mbappe. That's how it
okay, yeah,
work out, you know.
Okay, no, this. Okay, no, I was thinking about that. Okay, that makes sense.
I'm glad you thought about it. You're happy there. Right, Champions League, gents. We're here. It's time. Champions League's back. We're gonna give it a few minutes. I'll skip for fast forward there for Arsenal fans. Fast forward. So I don't know if you want to touch on it.
They can reminisce on past glories. What past glory? They haven't even won the title. But yeah, yeah. No, Champions League is going to be interesting, guys. Obviously, I think the blockbuster clash of the round of 16 is Real Madrid versus PSG, which is tonight. I think that in itself is, guys, it could be a semi-final before a semi-final over 2 legs. It'll be very interesting to see what happens there. I think Pochettino could obviously pull it through. I think, yeah, Neymar's back from his injury. Real Madrid have been blowing hot and cold in the last month in La Liga, man. In La Liga and Copa del Rey. They've, you know, I watched the highlights against Villarreal. They hit the post twice. Bale was starting. You know, so I think they have some issues. So it also depends. Is Benzema back? If Benzema's back, then they look more dangerous. But I think it'll be an interesting game. PSG will definitely want to go as far as possible in this tournament, and I think a statement of intent can be made by beating a Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then obviously Liverpool's also playing tomorrow against Internazionale. Internazionale. I watch a couple of you know to keep up to date with some of these leagues. I just watch the highlights of these games and how they perform, you know, and stuff. You know, so obviously on the weekend they lost to Napoli. In the previous game they lost to AC Milan in the Derby de Maddalena, in the big Milan derby. So I think they're obviously coming off a bad run of form, but difficult team to break down. That whole 3-5-2 system. They've got some quality players, Perisic, Dumfries, you know. So I think obviously you have to be wary of them. But I think Liverpool obviously has got this tie sorted. I'll be shocked if they don't make it to the next round. But listen, guys, it is a Champions League. There's no therefore in football, so you know, so anything can happen.
The only thing here is that Liverpool are playing second leg at home, and that's always key for Liverpool in the Champions
obviously,
League.
Yeah.
The second leg,
obviously.
Do the damage away and then come back. Yeah. Right, gentlemen, that pretty much concludes us for the show this evening. Final thoughts from your end, Wagga. We fast forwarded the Champions League because we know you go on mute. But yeah, final thoughts from you.
No, I mean, I wanted to go back to that Aston Villa incident with the VAR. I agree with everything with that. I mean, I agree with the VAR being in place. Of course, I think most people will do that. But that decision, it's what is going to. It's forever going to be there, just because that's the rules of the game in any sports. I always say it's a matter of centimeters, inches, whatever you want to call it. But that's the rules of the game. I mean, the way the rule is, it's always going to apply to that. that small inch. Where does the offside end? Where doesn't it end? It's the same thing with the goal line technology. They in which they do the goal line technology. You'll see sometimes the ball will just pass that line. But if that technology goal line tech, I mean, we see it. If it shows the ball past the line, everyone's going to look and say, no, look, the ball is out. It's a goal. That's the same thing that's going to happen with the VAR. I think if they can make a VAR look similar to a goal line technology, or like like the Hawkeye in a tennis.
Goal lounge technology. I love that.
He did say goal lounge technology.
Yeah,
So if you make it similar to the goal line technology, or the Hawkeye in tennis, I think people will be more accepting to the decisions that are being made. But now you're looking at it, it's pixelated, but they're saying that that's what the system picks up, and you can only agree with it. You can't tell it's doing wrong. So yeah, I think I'm just happy with what's happening at the moment. I just want to say that.
Sam saying they can hire Arteta. So, final thoughts?
Arteta will fire everyone.
Yeah, man. I think I might take a flight to the UK for the game, just to help them out in the defense, so they can keep a clean sheet. That's all I ask for, guys. We need to keep a clean sheet. This thing of conceding in the second half and their heads drop. That's the thing that I hate, is that their heads drop after.
Bro.
Yes, the last game, I think they still try to create some chances, but we need to close out the game. And I think we need to just be more clinical and take our chances as well, because there's still tougher challenges coming in March. That's when the real tough games start. We're playing all the other teams in the top six, or the traditional top six. We're playing all of them in March, so that will be very tough, and it will be tough to get the 3 points. So let's rather get them now against the other teams that are outside the top six right now. But lots of football on tonight. I don't know how I'm going to try and watch all of it, but we'll have my eye. I'll be watching Man United, but I'll have my eye on the Real Madrid and PSG on a second screen or something. Maybe I need to hit up Warren. I need to hit up Warren and get Warren's technology fitted in.
That's Goal Lounge technology. That's what you're referring to there, Wanga.
Yeah,
screen,
yeah. Two screens, bro. 2 screens, bro.
Right, on that note, Silo, you might as well get a nice little dossier motivation as to put together why Pogba should stay. I mean, you convinced Wanga as to why he should go, so maybe you should, reverse that, because it is out there now. And if someone picks it up, Pogba's going to say Silo was talking a lot of sense here. So consider that. If you haven't subscribed, Pums, thank you for that heart. We love those hearts. Guys, you got to like it, because the more you like it, the more other people come back and like it, and the more we can share it, and the bigger we can
like, subscribe, everything. Share, guys. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell your girlfriend, tell your ex-girlfriend. Let's subscribe and watch, and all be a great family.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's a nice way to make amends with an ex-girlfriend, eh? Wanga, I don't know if you got any of those, eh? No? Okay. Alrighty. Remember, gentlemen, thank you for joining us. If you don't know what to be
cool. And thanks to everyone who joined the stream, man. Sam, Warren, LG, Pums, Louis, Vards, Warren. That's about it, right? Yeah.
You think if we say Warren's name 6 times, it counts as more views?
No.
No. All right. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.